Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here at SF Indie Fest Livable Planet. We have a wide mix of films out there, and you've just had a chance to see the wonderful film River Tales. We're lucky enough to have the director, Julie Shrell, here. Welcome, Julie.
Hello.
So I think always a good place to start is what inspired you to tell this story?
It happened that I was in Central America around 2014, 2015. And I heard about this canal project, this biggest infrastructure project by a Chinese billionaire in Nicaragua, like a concurrent project to the Panama Canal. And I was in the region during that time, and it was a big topic everywhere. And families I stayed with were living in the so-called canal route and were afraid of being expelled. And it was really a big, tense subject. And I'm a filmmaker with a background as a historian and with an interest in development subjects and South America. And so I was kind of interested in doing something there about this. That was the beginning. And then 5 years later, what came out is not exactly a film about the canal, as you have seen or will see. Yes, so that was a long process to get to this approach with YAM, the kids, the way they actually conceive geopolitical subjects that surround them and address them directly. But yes, how the myth of a canal, like 72 failed canal projects, and the constant use of this myth by all the governments in the region to give hope to the people, give hope for development, give hope for getting out of poverty, and how this reflects actually on the local population. So that was a long way. And one important factor was the meeting with Yam, the teacher, the drama teacher. Also, one important factor was the history of this region, Rio San Juan, which is an amazing place, and it's so rich in history, and everywhere it's so much in literature, so much written about it. And if you go there today, it's like a forgotten place. And I also thought this contrast was so interesting to have this place, and if you talk to the locals, nobody really knows. Everything is a bit mysterious, and some people go hunting or fishing old swords from the conquistadores in the river, and then there are these ruins of this past where the conquistadors and the pirates were fighting, and all these elements are there, but it's like a dream. It's a bit yes, it's a very, very special place. So I thought it was interesting to work with the kids and treat these subjects with them directly.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting storytelling device because, one is they live there and they're the future for the place, and to be able to see these dreams, but also challenges reflected in their eyes is very powerful. How did you first meet the teacher, and was there any reticence about participating in the documentary? Obviously, there's so many outsiders that want to take advantage of the area or the natural resources. And so were they open for somebody outside their community to tell their story, or how did they feel?
So I met Yam in Managua because he's also an actor and anthropologist, and he's teaching in university. And I met him via a production company I was working with in Nicaragua, and they kind of talked to me about him when I told them I was looking for people that treat this history in a kind of artistic or more unmaterialistic way. That was the thing I was looking for. And somebody told me, oh, there's Yam Jordan Taizike Lopez. He's from Rio San Juan. He doesn't live there anymore, but he works there with theater and etc. So I was introduced to him, which was a big chance. And so we didn't immediately start doing this play and working together. That was also a long process in also finding the storytelling of the film. And what it was not planned to do a theater piece. So actually a second project started, which was kind of for the film, but in the end it was really, really a separate project. And during 4 or 5 months, we were trying to put this piece together. And so that was like a really separate project. Sometimes also I didn't really know what I was. Am I working for the film? Am I working with this piece? And so it was, that's also the interesting thing about filmmaking. Everything, it's not only the film, so many other things happen suddenly in documentary. And so Yam, he was super collaborative and open for this. And I think for him, it's also what he says now about the film is also for him like an honor or pleasure to see his place represented in that way and not in the classical historical way with what happened in the region, but in a more personal way, in the immersive, intimate way on how the people are and what they think. And I also think that was the way to work together, that we spent so much time there, maybe altogether about a year I was there. And this also made it easier, of course, to be able to film. And there was, before the camera was there was a lot of time just preparing and spending time with the families. And I think this also gave the confidence that I could film there in the end. And because it was a long time, and long time spending in the families and really becoming friends. And the parents also, of course, were very happy that we were doing this work with the kids. And it was, on the other side, it's a political question, because Nicaragua is the government in Nicaragua now. There's the crisis that emerged just after we shot this film, but even before that, it was very tense for all kind of opposition. If it's only a small cultural opposition, that's already too much. And the work that Yam does, like bringing culture to that place or other places, bringing a place for open discussion, reflective thinking, this is something not so welcoming in Nicaragua. So
interesting.
It was, you would think, where we live, maybe this is so super harmless, and but it's already a little bit too much. So it was, we also had to take care, because you cannot do a play with kids and talk about a potential canal and maybe criticize it. And the government, if somebody hears it, and we are working in a library where also everyone can come in, and then you have people that come and listen, what are you doing there? And the truth is that Yam, after this, in the same year that we finished shooting, had to leave the country, not for this film, but for other. He was considered a terrorist for his work or his classes, his philosophy, just with an open mind.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
Well, I think the intimacy that you allude to comes through in the film. What did the kind of elders and the parents in the community think about this kind of theater and play, and how did it change the way they saw their own communities, or how did they feel?
I think it was a really nice event because we presented it in. Actually, you don't see the play in the film, but there's a Vimeo page with the edit. We filmed it,
nice.
of course.
Okay.
So maybe I can share it with you, and you can share it with the audience, because I often get the question, where can we see the play? So it was like a big fest, and there were more than 200 people coming, everyone super dressed up, and as the play was happening in these old ruins, in this castle, it was like, I think, a very special moment that doesn't happen a lot there, because I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of religious events and going on, but this kind of cultural events, it's not really happening. So I think it was really a proud thing also. Everyone was dressed up, and it was a very beautiful moment. And also a lot of people from the village were involved, probably every family kind of, or being a parent, of doing the snacks, doing the repetitions, or doing the makeup, or doing the clothes for the kids. So it was like circular economy, happening.
I love that. It just shows you how community can come together.
Yeah, it was a good, and I think so. Yam is doing this not anymore, because he's now living abroad and not really able to be back. But he was doing these workshops since 6 years. So I think this is something that he did before, but he never did a play in that size or something. But so I think the community, was, the parents of these children are already were proud of this, I think.
So this is just a question of just like what holds for the future of this area. Obviously, this canal has been considered in so many different versions over time, your takeaway, do you think that will eventually happen, or is it just kind of a myth, a hope, a dream that people will always think about?
I think but like, it's a very geostrategic project, and in reality you have other paths. As you have the Panama Canal, you have the Arctic route that is being more and more available, and so I don't think this Nicaragua canal would be rentable, or how to say, would be worth building it. But the problem is, in this case, for example, of this Chinese canal, there's a concession was signed between this Chinese company and the Nicaraguan government, and this concession says it's not only about the canal, but there are hundreds of sub-projects about infrastructure projects, ports, streets, tourism complexes, golf course, so many things, agriculture. And the concession, even if the canal doesn't exist, the concession is there, and it's like a loss of sovereignty for the country. And this is also why there were so many anti-canal movements. And so I think, I don't know what the latest thing about, because this concession is still existing. So
yeah. Well, thanks again for sharing the film with us, Julie. I think it was just a really hopeful story amidst difficult times, and I just love to see how you captured the kind of story unfolding and the way that those kids and the teacher were coming together.
Super. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And
well, thank you very much. Thanks again for being part of Livable Planet, and have a great day.
You too.